Alright, here's an update. Finally got the engine back in. Was extreme pain in the ass. A couple of points to make out so you guys can get it done easier is to leave the motor mounts out until you get the engine positioned in place. What you're going to have to do is, before you do this, line up the flywheel so that when you look back on the access cover, you're able to go ahead and see one of the flywheel holes. And you're also going to want to, before you put the engine there, position the torque converter nuts to go ahead and appear so that you're very close to line it up. Then you're going to want to go ahead and start pushing this engine back into place, lowering it down and resting it on the frame, and starting two of the nuts on the flywheel. Then you're going to want to go ahead and jack the engine up and get a couple of, at least the lower two bell housing bolts in place. Tighten those up to pull the engine back, and try and get as many bell housing bolts as you possibly can. Once those are in place, you'll go ahead and jack the engine back up and put the motor mounts in. And then it's just a matter of lifting the engine and positioning these bolts down here into the actual the mounting brackets on the engine frame. From there, you're going to want to hook back up your power steering pump. You're going to want to go ahead and hook up your AC pump and your switches and your wiring. From that point, you'll just go ahead and, it's very straightforward as far as putting the vehicle back together. Just go ahead and hook back your EGR cooler. I still got to tighten and torque down my band clamp. Don't forget to put your Y pipe in there before you put the manifold. And at this point, I'm just putting everything back together. It's been a little busy. Fuel lines, once again, we visited that in one of my previous videos. These aren't tightened down yet. These are just positioned so we can get everything in place. I've got the oil cooler cover. Everything's back in place. Everything's pretty much hooked up. I have to hold off on doing my application. I have to hold off on putting the turbo in place. Otherwise, I would have done that before I put this guy on. Reason I got to hold off is I have the aftermarket oil cooler block, and I have on here is the big, the big braided hydraulic lines. Need to go to that. I need to be able to tighten out the crescent wrench without the turbo getting in the way. So once that portion's down and taken care of, let's see. One thing I want to do before, or at this position, the next step I'll be doing is probably tomorrow morning. I'm going to finish putting on the torque converter nuts, new ones, not old ones, but actual new ones. I have to put those on there and run just like before. I have to run the 36-inch extension ratchet, and I believe now that the replacement nuts are 14 millimeters instead of the old 9/16. So I'll go ahead and be able to torque these down to the right specifications through the little pilot light or pilot viewing area back there. After that is done, I'll pop the old crankshaft pulley bolts out, and then I'll get a new one. I got new ones. You always replace new ones when you take it off and put it back on. These are no good. It's just okay to, to turn the crankshaft to move your flywheel for the nuts. Once that's removed and taken care of, put the new pulley on, the new bolts, torque that down. I'll go ahead and install the tensioner and torque that down. And then what you guys should do if you don't have the bulletproof diesel kit is put the turbo in, install the alternator, and then you can adjust the tensioner, put your new serpentine belt on. That'll make it easier for you guys. I've got a different route.